Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Inkvent day number 13. Isn't the month flying by? Where are we? Number 13, here we are. Some people say it's unlucky for some. I don't know, let's see if we're lucky or not. So here we have Ruby Blues. So we've got a blue colour on the label. Let's just move this Inkvent calendar out of the way. And I'm going to take off the wrapper. So the wrapper's now off. What have we got? Ruby Blues. And this is a sheening ink. Let me just give it a shake. Then I'll fetch my swatch card. Okay, here comes the ink with the lid off. If it wants to come off, there we go. Just pop that there. So in comes the swatch card. This is a colouring card. And the first tool I'm going to use is the Pilot Parallels with the 6mm blade. So let's dip it in and see what we've got. It looks quite dark there on that blade, doesn't it? That's nice blue. I wonder sometimes if I press too hard when I'm doing this. My natural tendency is I am a quite heavy-handed writer. I'm trying to make sure I don't go as hard this time. One last one, and we're going to go all around the middle. Then I'm going to do just a single pass here on the side. I'll dip it in again. It doesn't want to work. I was hoping there'd be a bit of ink left. There we go. There's that single pass. So that looks a really nice, it's a nice dark blue colour, isn't it? Let's put the name on this. So this is Diamine Inkvent. Can't have dipped it in far enough. There we go. Inkvent 2021 day 13. Just going to give that another quick little dip. I'm trying not to go too deep when I do my dips, just in case I end up overloading the nib. It's called Ruby Blues. I'm hoping that means that the sheen's a nice red colour. Just going to pop this to one side so that it can dry off. Now what we'll do is we'll fetch in my notepad. I'll just move this ink slightly out of the way. So now we're fetching in that notepad. This is an endless recorder and it's 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. Just going to give it another dip. And what we're going to do is we're going to say day 13. Ruby Blues. I love the blue colour of this. Drying times, immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, finally 1 minute. After a minute, well, that's looking nice and dry there. Tiny little smudge, but seems to dry it off quite nicely. Let's do our writing sample. Just dip it one more time. Now, the issues I've got with writing, I don't think it's to do with the ink. I think it's to do with the pen. What I do is after each day is I take out the nib and give it a good clean. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I haven't quite got this positioned correctly because there's loads of ink on there. It's just not coming off the nib. So let's pop the book to one side, let that one dry as well. So now we have my advent calendar, Star Wars, The Mandalorian. Day number 13 is here. We open it up. Got a picture of the Mandalorian there in a bauble. Let's get into the chocolate. It doesn't want to come out. Could be that it's starting to melt actually because we're having some fairly hot temperatures at the moment. So that looks like that's a bow. Pop that to one side for later. I'll fetch in the parcel from my wife. Here it is. It's in the big bag today, so that means it's something big, I'm hoping. Let's have a feel. Oh, we're about halfway down the bag. and it feels like bubble wrap. There we go. Let's take a look at what's inside this bubble wrap. So we've got a leaf saying gift. Something unusual, isn't it? Then we've got another bag, and it looks like there's a bag inside this bag. Let's get into here now. I'm really interested to see what this is. It seems to be bags after bags after bags. And yet another bag. This looks like it must be a carrying bag. Oh, I've got some quality in there at least. So let's get into here. I think we're nearly there. And yes, this is a photography light box. So looks like here we've got different coloured backgrounds for it. One of the things I'm trying to do is improve the photography I use, well, not just on the channel, but overall. And this is going to be really good. Again, I've been eyeing these up for ages. I don't know how she knows what I've been looking for. But I've been looking at these because I'm thinking, well, if I can get the lighting better, that will help with getting the photos better. So really pleased with that. And I pop this to one side. Let's fetch back in the notebook and the swatch card. So here comes that Tomoe River. And here comes the swatch card. Let's take a quick look at this. Yeah, look at that. We've got that blue background. Look at that gorgeous reddy, looks nearly crimson, or purple even, with that sheen. Chances are that's the red sheen over the blue background. So I can see where they get ruby blues from. And it's coming out there, can you see, in Inkvent and Diamine? Part of the B and the R and the B in ruby blues. Yeah, it looks really nice. I do have some comparisons. First, a couple of not sheening ones. I've got Pure Pen's Westgate Hotel. I can actually see little tiny bits of a red sheen in this, but the blue, I'm going to say more or less. Where it's on heavy, it looks very similar, but where it's light in this single pass, yeah, it definitely looks a lot lighter. Next one I've got, by Diamine, Sargasso Sea. I always want to call this Sargasso. I don't know why. But it looks like here, the blue background of the Inkvent one, fairly close to the Sargasso. Next ones I've got, Cold Pen's Little Mo. This is actually made by Diamine. And that looks fairly similar, doesn't it? You can see there, maybe the blue's a little bit more of a royal blue. And then the final comparison I've got, I thought Jack Frost from the 2019 Inkvent. Again, the background's slightly different, but it's got that gorgeous sheen to it. Next I'm going to fetch in is I did a chromatography. So here we go, this is the chromatography for it. So we can see it's predominantly blue, but at the top, I can see it looks like a bluey, it looks like a dark blue, maybe bits of that red there coming out at the top of the blue. So this is Inkvent Day number 13, Ruby Blues.